today.
I'm doing good.
I'm back.
Good?
Yeah.
I'm
So I got Chunky Kaiser. He's running for Magistrate to the Flat Rock District, and we're going to ride around. He's going to tell us his ideas of what he has plans for Bourbon County.
Sounds good.
So I hope y'all have fun riding through some of the best looking countryside on the planet.
That's right. This is the Flat Rock District. We're going to try to drive around it and just kind of show people exactly where it is.
Hold the window.
Oh, yeah. Get that air out of there. There we go. Going to show the area where it is. Flat Rock starts down in Main Street, really, of Paris. Runs from that pretty area, goes down through Claysville, out a little bit of Winchester Street, cuts across through there, gets a couple houses on Claiborne, goes back through Stoner Avenue, back through down by the creek, across Scott Avenue, comes out East Main. So right now we're out on East Main going out North Middletown Road. We're going to turn here on Cane Ridge in just a minute and try to hit some of those areas. Butch, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You got everything ready?
Yeah.
In our back seat, we've got my wife, Andrea. Andrea's back here. Andrea, say hello.
Hello.
And we also got Butch's wife back here. They're just having a good conversation.
Hello.
Trying to be quiet. Well, enjoy the conversation. Talk up. Speak up back there.
Everybody's used to, I'm Butch.
And I'm Amy.
Of course you are. Welcome to Butch and Amy's Coinpushing and Adventure.
There you go. That's
So
right.
we're off. I'll turn left.
Yeah.
If you just go right over the mountain in Virginia, those coin pushing machines are legal still.
Are they
So,
really?
Like we can actually play them in stores. So.
You can't, they're illegal in Kentucky
How come?
because you can't guarantee what people will win. The thing is, you got to be able to guarantee one person that they can win the same odds as the next person, and the next person. And the physics of a coin pusher have nothing to do with real physics.
Right.
We push them aside. But you want to stop by the house before we go home, or y'all want to drive over?
Oh, we can go to the house if we want to do it. Yeah, do the coin. I think that sounds great.
So I say either way you want to do it.
Yeah, sounds great. We can do it.
Brad and them ended up staying until like 10:30.
Did they really?
Because Brad, I had another Jeep race. I asked everybody, I was like, who wants to see another Jeep race? Yeah, so I said, give me 20 minutes, smoke a cigarette, chill out, sit down for a second. And Brad couldn't leave. He said, I got to see this through. I got to see which Jeep wins. Hey, y'all, Amy's going to have to build the questions and the comments. But we have future Flat Rock Magistrate Chucky Kaiser riding with us. He's going to talk about what he's going to do once he's in office.
Sure. Well, in Bourbon County, it's kind of interesting. There's 7 districts throughout Bourbon County. And there's kind of like Bourbon County, if you ever look at it on a map, it's kind of like this funky-looking, rounded-shaped kind of piece of pizza. And so we all have these little slices of Bourbon County, which branch out from downtown and go out into the county. And so our district that I represent is Flat Rock. And there's 7 different magistrates. All those are actually seats that are going to be up in November. So for the main election, they're good couch. Butch, hey, you might want to pick that up.
No,
couches?
we got 800 square feet.
800 square feet, no couches.
Yeah, our rent's $575 a month. We're going to stay cramped for a
There you
while.
go. That's way to do it. But I'm a junker for sure. Andrew will tell you I've had too much stuff in our house. Too many long times. Too many garages full and too many garages empty until I put some other stuff in there. Or she's being awful quiet. The mailman's up here delivering mail, looks like. Or somebody's broken that. Nope, it's the mailman. Or mail person, excuse me. Mail carrier, as we should say.
What is it? This road, if you stay straight, you end up in Owensville.
Yeah, that's street. If you go that way, that's actually Glen Road. That's how it goes up. This becomes right here, turns into another district. So this actually is another district right up through here. So it's kind of interesting. But keep going on. We'll go on this way a little bit.
When we went to Bath County that day for that vendors fair and all that, Butch, this is how we went and came back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Straight in. Go past the old, was it Judy Drive-In?
Yeah, you can go that way. Go on out through
paid attention.
Yeah. But the district
those
cuts
vegans.
across Glen Road, and then it goes out Jackstown Road, and on the inner side of Jackstown is part of the district, and it goes all the way to county line. So that it follows the county line all the way back in, comes back in this road, which is 537, cuts back in. You go back in through Stone Road
Yeah.
into it follows a creek. It's kind of funny. It follows a creek in through parts of close to North Middletown, but doesn't quite go into North Middletown. And then it comes back out onto College Road, and then you follow College Road back into Cane Ridge again,
Right.
and back in this way. It's kind of funny how it just kind of
Over at that
goes
crossroads
back and forth.
where Cleaver used to live.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of interesting how it cuts back and forth.
I just remember that where he lived because of the pig roast. FFA pig
Yeah,
roast.
they used to have those out there. They did used to have those out there.
Hey, the one thing I was going to ask you is, what y'all want to do about keeping the jail on budget?
That's a good question.
They run through money. I mean, in 3 months, so they're,
That's a good question.
3 years.
There's a lot of things, of course, that they're saying that they don't get the money. They don't get the money that they need to get for taking care of the inmates, and so there's a big issue about that. There's a lot of amount that the state will pay, I think, for inmates that they got there.
Right.
It's interesting too. I've been to some of the meetings where they talk about what inmates are there, and it's interesting, because there's a lot of people from the ICE raids and stuff like that. They're actually there, that they've got them there, and they get supposedly a certain amount of money for that.
Has there been much of that in Bourbon County? I hadn't even heard of it in
Well,
Bourbon County.
there's been some people who have been arrested, that have been, I guess, seized or whatever, or rounded up. I hate to think of that happening, but there are some things that are going on.
This one is in Bourbon
this
County.
Area, yes,
Yeah.
in this area for sure. It's
Bell
Bell
Nursery.
Nursery. This
Yep.
was the former clerk quaint, and that really was going to take off for a while with the what was the name of the thing? They were going to do the marijuana, do the CBD oil and stuff like that. I can't remember what the name of it was. They had a
It was Color Point at one time,
Well,
but
it's
I don't
Color
know what it
Point.
was after.
Yeah, but they were going to do, part of a business that opened up in the industrial park where they were going to process the oils and stuff like that. They were pretty much doing the greenhousing for the plants, if I remember, for people who were going to raise the marijuana or the hemp grade product is what they were doing. But that goes back to a big history for Bourbon County, because Bourbon County had a huge operation. The good kind, but there's the smoking kind. But I mean, they had a big hemp operation.
They grew wild everywhere where I grew up out past Clintonville.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
5 acres, it was everywhere.
They used to grow up out here, and they had the YMCA had their farm out here, and we of course had the day camp farm out here, and you could find it growing wild out here all the time out in this place. But it was just from old things where they grow up every year.
Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Mom.
Is your mom out there?
She's watching.
Well, good. Hey, Mom.
Mhm.
And where's your mom live?
She's in Paris now.
She is.
She
Okay.
moved in
Right
here.
behind McDonald's on West
Right
Ridge.
behind McDonald's on West Ridge. Okay. That's a nice.
Julie,
area. She's close to you all then.
Julie Atchison is like one of her neighbors.
Okay.
I think Julie's head of the HOA or whatever.
Neighborhood Association.
Or neighborhood association. Yeah, that's it.
We're about to
I
get
still- I
one.
think-
There's like 7 or 8 new
I've
lots
been
that Wayne West
all over the
just,
United States.
bought
They
that-
never got out of the country.
property from the
That
church.
this is the prettiest countryside day in, day out. It's not flat. It's not straight up and down.
It's right.
Nice
It's
rolling hills.
pretty nice little rolling hills out through here. It is an interesting area. If you want to pop in there, we'll just let.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here we're getting over pretty
Heck
close.
yeah. We can
That's
do that.
nice. No, I've never even stopped.
If it's open, you need to come in here. It's pretty neat.
I've weed eated. Mike Kendall
You're
and
going up. Yeah, you're almost getting close. This is the Clay's property.
the Clay.
Clay.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Sam Clay.
Sam.
Yeah. His parents, and of course, his sister lives there now. Yeah, right up here.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's the second one. Yeah, the second one. You
Yeah.
should go in that way, not this way, I think. Yeah, right here. We'll see if they're open. You said they're open for now. Maybe we'll just walk in here. This is Cane Ridge Meeting House, you all. This is one of the original meeting houses in this area. It's a site of the big awakening, the big revival in this area, which is a lot of the religious stuff and spirituality that happened. It's kind of neat. Inside is a log cabin or log cabin church. Has some of the largest expansions of logs in there.
Doors open.
Let's go see.
I think
You wanna
it's
go
a
see
jar.
Let's do it. Let's
All
go
right.
see.
This is the Cane Ridge Meeting House, 1791. I'll try not to jostle y'all around too much, make you car sick. When we was young growing up in track, did you ever think you could envision anything like this?
No. Not at all.
All right.
I guess we'll leave it open.
Yeah, we can leave it open. Well, somebody drive through here, theirs can stay open. I've been doing a lot of work for Eldon Griggs lately.
Have you?
Yeah.
What's he do?
He runs Gall's Police Supply,
Oh, okay.
and he has his own business like Gall's Police Supply, only he outfits doctors, nurses,
Oh,
students, and students with embroidered
okay.
smocks. What do they call the shirts? Scrubs.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, it's kind of dark in here.
It's a meeting house that got
They closed it.
they enclosed it.
Yeah, don't save it.
I guess all the lights are on like they
Yeah.
they're on automatic. I'll stick with Chucky.
Again, we'll see. This is kind of neat. I always liked it in here.
Yeah.
If I can get the light on in here or not. Let's see.
It just stays open all the time, don't it?
Pretty much. There's usually a groundskeeper or super here. Please, no smoking, beverages, or food. There we go.
All right.
Oh, found it.
You found them?
Yeah.
Okay. There they are. There we go. Yeah, there they are.
This is the old meeting house.
Yeah, it's an old meeting house.
Oh, howdy.
Chuck Concert, how are you doing today? Yeah.
We're doing a YouTube live. He's running for Flat Rock Magistrate. So we're touring Flat Rock today.
Showing the old meeting house. Been out here many times as a child, so always good to see you.
It's the first time I've ever been in it.
Mom had one of these. It's the one with the
Pepper
wheels.
Red? Yeah. It did work. I don't know if it still does.
It does work. They said if you play, that they'll give you the key.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Oh, at the moment, is the pump not working? Oh, yeah.
See, our bladder's rotted, and ours that we had, and then finding someone to redo it was just an undertaking. Nobody played, so we just kept the organ itself.
I think it's interesting the way the church is. You got your upper area, your lower area.
This is where you would have been going to, I guess, meet on Sunday, back in the day.
Sure. I'm sure you can also put people out in the other area too. Back in the day, the other areas
Well, I walked up one set of steps and might as well walk down the other and do the complete tour. After we do this ride around, Chucky's gonna come over and push a game on the coin pusher. So that'll be a separate live, so that everybody knows that's watching that watches the channel normally.
What's interesting was where you all were was the upper gallery would have been back in the day would have been like this, what's the slave gallery. That's where they would have would
Yeah.
have shipped up there, so it would have been segregated at the time.
That would be up
The way
there.
that things change
Yeah.
for the better.
It reminds me looking up there from like the witch trials and
Well,
stuff.
when
You know,
think about
what you see on
when you've
the
seen some of
movies.
the movies and stuff like that, you can just picture them saying, witch, witch, and all that stuff, and people just doing the judgment. And it may have been those buildings may have been used for something like that, or a meeting house. It was a meeting house for things that type of nature where people could gather and probably discuss things.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Let me get those lights.
That's okay, I've got a group coming in a few minutes.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. We just hit you just right.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
You want to turn the lights off or you got them?
He's got them. He's got a tour coming to in a minute.
Okay.
Need an arm?
I got it.
Okay.
This is really neat how they did the floor in here and the sidewalk and stuff.
We've done this through here. I remember it used to be wrong.
I know they did a lot of work out here several years ago. I couldn't tell you how long ago it was, but it's really neat. I've always heard about it, but I ain't never come out.
We start trying to push wheelchairs through, who can cross that,
Oh, I can imagine.
wear them out.
For sure, for sure. Well, it's interesting. Interesting. Like the stained glass, see, look, at least right here, but this is kind of interesting how they're doing their sign something. So it's interesting where they would possibly have had meetings here and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I know, in the house, do you know the house where Catesby Simpson lives? Is that
Catesby
on
Simpson.
Seacock Road? Catesby.
Yeah, after over the bridge.
Yes, she lives in the original.
Her mama used to plant the flowers and stuff
Yeah.
along the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to watch out not to hit her.
She'll hit you. You get her plow.
But I mean, I'd want to run over her. She'd be sitting on the side of the road tending to them.
She'd been over pulling weeds and stuff.
Yeah.
But she, of course, would plant flowers and everything else there. And that was the original Kaiser home. It was built back in the mid-1780s, back before Bourbon County was Bourbon County, when it was Fayette County, Virginia, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah.
Fayette County, Virginia. History of that.
I knew it used to be a county of Virginia.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting just to think about the history there. And of course, some of the first court meetings for Bourbon County were held in the house.
Yeah.
And that's where I grew up, out in that area.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette real
Yeah,
quick
go for
while we stop. I know y'all probably don't smoke.
I grew up around cigarettes.
I think
It paid our bills for many years.
yeah.
Many years.
Now, is this like a
They kind of made
a recreation area?
It is. They've expanded that quite a bit. There's kind of like a library, and it's kind of like an artifact area that's down there.
Uh-huh.
They've got like a kind of a picnic area that's out there. Of course,
Right.
they still bring school children out here sometimes for stuff, and they'll have like meetings and stuff where kids can, picnic and things of that nature. So it's kind of a nice little area out here.
And this is the caretaker's house?
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
When was it built? It looks like a late
Probably
50s,
50s or
60s.
60s, I
Yeah.
think. Probably maybe around the time that they did. It's kind of the same stone work as that.
Yeah.
If you look on the outside.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe about the same time.
You
Probably
smoking?
Yeah.
the 50s or 60s. Yeah. But a lot of people forget about that this is here. It's a nice place here in Bourbon County.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's
It's nice to come out here.
Mike Kendall come by the country club one time and
Uh-huh.
got me when him and Mark Matthews had M&M mowing.
Yeah.
He said, "You want to make $125 quick?" I'm like, "Doing what?" "Weed eating Cane Ridge." He said, "Nobody come into work today."
Yeah.
Like Saturday. So I come out here in my swimming trunks and weed eated it.
Oh yeah. Well, down it. You can make a lot of money on it for sure.
That was back in the late '80s too.
Yeah. That's a lot of money back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
You can do.
Turn the camera that way. I keep trying to get away
Well-
from it. You keep following me with
Those eyeball windows on the front.
Uh-huh.
That's a Masonic thing.
Is it?
Yes.
it. Yeah.
I would say there were a few good Masons, involved in this.
Probably so, I'd say.
It's not an original Egyptian obelisk, but it is a big obelisk.
To represent their family for sure. I
Yeah.
think it's neat, but still, out in this area, there was a lot of above graves. And I know, like on Connie and Perry's farm, there was a cemetery which had several above graves there.
We had the Concrete Cemetery on our farm.
Did it have the same thing?
It had the big stones laying on the ground, but with the headstone laying on it, it would have the people on this end, the writing facing this way, and then the writing going towards the middle on the other side as well.
Yeah, but some of those are real. I mean, they're very old. The dates on those, and there's a fairly good sized cemetery through here. You know it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we needed.
Yeah. It's a fairly good sized cemetery.
Trying to find that head. I can't zoom in anymore. Well, maybe.
Where is it? Which one are you looking at?
Right here. See that tree? There's a bust right on top of that concrete right there.
I see it.
I just want to see how good this would zoom in. All right. Everybody's had enough of me smoking, I'm sure.
Well, I'm trying to think. What's some things you think Bourbon County needs? Let's ask you real quick. Finish your cigarette. What's some things you think they need?
They need some horse riding trails for people. I mean, we're the horse capital of the world, and the Kentucky Horse Park's going downhill.
Yeah, there isn't really anything.
And
I was really hoping that place out there, the big new park they opened for the cross country
Would have
team.
some stuff.
See, Highsville Park is
Yeah.
a cross country for horses and humans to train
Yeah.
in Lexington. And I was hoping that with us being
Yeah.
the horse capital of the world, maybe we would do that too. And then it's like you got to get a pass to go out there and use those facilities.
But you know, that's something they really. So they could start like a horse program through the school. To do that type of training and stuff, and have a stable out there.
Yeah, and I have friends in the horse world that run camps all summer long for kids and stuff that love kids.
Yeah.
And would be happy to probably be one of them that bring a busload of them out here and let them groom a horse and let them take a trail ride or whatever. So you do have to. When you involve horses in the state of Kentucky, you see all those signs like you're assuming risk, but those only go so far, and lawyers will tell you that.
Yeah.
So you really are undertaking a huge liability, But a lot of my friends, they have packets this thick that would have to go home with their kids to get signed, and if one line's not initialed, they're not getting on a horse. So.
Right. So that is the risk.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we are unfortunately a sue happy
Yes.
nation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, everybody can try to get a little money here and there on stuff. So it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation.
Okay. You ready?
yeah.
Good idea. Like
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. I'm getting old, my hips hurt.
Do I need to move up some more?
No, you're fine.
I can't.
You can come back. Okay.
No, I don't need to come back.
She's saying she's getting old. See, I always have to tell her that she's only 3 years younger than me.
I'm 22.
3.5.
As long as you're over 18.
That's right. We don't want no trouble with that.
When I was younger, chicks they always talking about going out with guys in college or something. I wasn't down for it. And it's like her being younger, that much younger than me, it's just kind of just wild how stuff works
But
out.
when I was in high school, these girls would come to class and be like, I'm dating a 22-year-old. Why can't he find a 22-year-old that I'm dating? Why does he got to date a 17-year-old? Is my question. Well, because 22-year-old girls won't put up with his crap.
Well, that is true. I mean,
going left?
Go
Okay,
left.
go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go that way.
Well, they got them smart going on.
Thanks for all the likes, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. And if you're local and you didn't know I had a channel, and if you like it, please subscribe. Going too quick. That's why I wanted to have Chucky on here. That's like out there. I know it's not Bourbon Bourbon County, but Athens, they built that huge complex of soccer fields,
Yes, they did.
softball fields,
Yeah,
and
they
everything.
did. What do they got out there?
It's just, I mean,
They have a semi-pro league, soccer league now.
Yeah.
100 acres of softball fields and soccer fields, and it's got a big soccer stadium.
Yeah. Have you been to any of the games?
No, I don't.
I want to go to one of the games just to see it. We went to, what was it, Andrea? Did you go with us to Louisville or not? Or was you with us when we went to Louisville? Or for the, there was this, they played down at the, what is it, the River Rats or something like that.
I think it is like the River Rats. I think
Yeah.
you're right, because I went to one of them with some friends of mine one time.
And I think it's what it's called, but it's interesting. They play it on a baseball field is where they played, and they had converted the baseball field to a soccer field, and it's down there on the river, and it was just really neat just to see it. You know, and of course the stands aren't really set up for a soccer game, but you just had a really good time, and it's interesting to see. Of course, we didn't grow up with soccer. You know,
No,
it wasn't even the thing. My cousins out on the West Coast, they grew up with soccer. They had it, but we didn't have soccer. I mean, I'm trying to think. Really the only sports we had were baseball, football, track, and that was it.
I mean, the ROTC actually had a shooting when we was in school.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. They did have a shooting team when we were in school.
It's right under the old bleachers.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they right. I do remember that. And I don't even know if they're just go right. Yeah.
Okay.
Go right. We'll go this way.
Susan's.
Yeah.
Little Rock.
Yeah.
Down at the courthouse, I noticed, and see if you know, but it's somebody named Rowe founded Little Rock in the 1700s at some point, but it was WROE. I've always wondered if it was the same roads.
It could be, you know, that a lot of times people will drop a letter or something like that. I know a lot of times there's, you'll find Kaiser spelled Kaiser, you'll find Kaiser spelled Kizer.
Right.
It's interesting, when the Kaiser family came to this part of what was Virginia, some of them settled in what's now Masterson Station Park.
Right.
There was a brother who settled there with actually the mother of the Kaisers, and then the other brother settled here in what was at that point considered kind of northern Fayette County, and settled in what we call now Kaiserton. If you look on the map, it's out there.
Yeah.
It's called Kaiserton, but it's
cool.
not even a community anymore. I mean, there's nothing there. But so it's kind of neat. But there's a graveyard that's up there at Masterson Station that has the Kaiser graves in it. So
I've rode by that one.
yeah, it's in there, and it's kind of interesting just to see it. So there's some family that's buried up that way.
Kaiser Drummond.
Huh?
It's Kaiser Drummond.
I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what all's in there, but it's spelled. It is spelled with instead of Kiser, it's spelled Kizer, but it's the same. It's the same family. So kind of interesting. That's where Carrie Elliott's parents used to live. Yeah. They lived down
Sure
there.
thing.
Yeah. And they've sold. I think they sold that recently, or everybody's of course getting older.
Right. There's a little bit much to take care of.
Yeah.
Larry must be. Larry
He's
must be in
got-
his 80s now.
He's got to be. Well, yeah. I mean, he's got to be. If you think about it. It's kind of. Sad when we think about it, but we look at it and we say, well, that was 20 years ago. Well, 20 years ago is now 40 years ago for us, things like that. And we got to realize we're all getting older,
Yeah.
We're becoming the old folks, is what they say.
Man, being 60 wasn't on my list of stuff to do.
That's what
I'm
happened
blown
to you
away
this
more
year,
than
didn't it?
anybody down
That happened
there.
to you, didn't it?
Yeah. I get to hit from the wet red tees and golf tournaments this year. They're going to change that rule. They will. As I've gotten older, they've changed.
Changed the rule on you?
Yeah.
We pretty good golf game, ain't you?
Yeah. I was shooting at 80s now. One time I was younger, I was legitimate poor handicap, but that was as a drunk. When I still drank. It didn't help. It didn't help me.
Yeah, you're a little too steady.
Yeah, I don't know if you could ever call me steady. Shaken, not stirred. We're gonna go on to.
We're gonna go to Little Rock and go through that area. I'm gonna turn you down a road on Little Rock, kind of go where Cynthia used to live. They used to live
That's
out here.
cool.
They were out here in Little Rock for several years before they bought there on Stoner Avenue.
I just remember Scotty Earlywine and Terry Brooks was from out here when we was growing up.
There's some
The Lotzenheisers.
yeah. What's her name? Dee Dee Hedges is from here.
Right,
Hedges
yeah.
Crossville. She was from out here. Her family.
Daryl, what's Daryl's name? Daryl Lyons.
Yeah.
They lived out here.
Yeah. There were several people that did.
Belinda.
Yeah, Belinda Crouch and them. They did out here.
Yeah.
There were several people that lived out here.
I've always thought it was neat how we had little satellite communities
Yeah.
like in our county,
Well,
like
and-
Clintonville, Centerville, Little Rock.
And we had, of course, there was an elementary school out here. You know.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did Clintonville ever play Little Rock?
The basketball between the schools
Uh-huh.
ended the year before I came to Clintonville.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we did play. We played them out here. You know, I was in it was a Ruddles Million. Okay, we're getting into Little Rock. This is Little Rock, people. I'm going to have you go through Little Rock, but we're going to come back and we're going to turn on this road.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I want to show you one of my favorite barns in Bourbon County.
That's cool.
You know, it's one. I hope that it's still there. It's still there because it's one of my favorite barns.
Yeah, you
This
get
is
a
Little
surprise
Rock
like
down
it
through
once in a
here.
while.
Just for Doug, honk. There we go. Just for Doug.
Everybody, when she first got with me, she couldn't believe how many people go by my place and honk. It's like every day we'll be in the living room and your curtains drawn, and somebody honk, and we're both waving. The school's still occupied out here. Bugs Robinson
Is that who has it now?
redid it now in the 70s
Okay.
when he bought it at auction and made it into
Apartments?
well,
Well, it was a house for a while.
it was
wasn't
just him. Yeah, they lived
this
in
is the elementary
missionary.
school right here. Yeah.
I don't know about going up in there since it's private property,
Yeah.
but this is the
You
old
get it?
Little Rock School.
Yeah.
Usually, I don't know when it was built. Like the old schools are built around the county were built in the 20s.
Yeah, usually in the 20s. I think most
23 to
they're all
28.
kind of consolidated from the little elementary school or little schools.
Yeah, originally they were first through 8th grade.
Yeah.
They were called the consolidated school.
Yeah. This is Little Rock Christian Church.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good little church there. But that was Little Rock.
I think that's where Sam Hutchison's parents lived.
Is it?
Yeah, he was a teacher at Clintonville. He was a 4th grade
Andrew,
teacher.
who was it that you knew that had the school? I thought you knew somebody that had bought the school.
Greg Sanding had Clintonville.
Okay.
And Rollins lived next door to us.
Oh, the Rollins lived next door to it. For some reason, I
Yeah.
thought they bought it or something. They just had the house beside it.
Rosalie Rollins.
Okay.
He's
Where you want me to turn around?
Let's go up here.
Right there at Levy.
Yeah, Levy be a good spot. Levy be a good spot.
It used to be a hopping little country store.
Yeah.
So like I say, you don't get any more pretty countryside than what we live
No,
in.
I think it's good. I do think I like the rolling hills. We used to always bring the kids where we had raised the kids. We were down in Millersburg, and every once in a while we'd go out, US 68, and we turned down there by what was the name of that street? Carpenter Road. And we drive back this way, and we get down by Jackstown, and we cut out through these areas. And there's some really pretty areas where you're really very high up over here.
Yeah, this is a good one.
And you just have some good sight spots. The sun's coming out. It's just kind of pretty over here on this side of the
Right here it looks like pretty high up.
It
but
does.
Supposedly the highest point in Bourbon County is the entrance to Innisbrook Farm on
North Middletown.
Austerlitz.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
in North Middletown. But now, according to the internet, it's not. Did you know that?
I've heard
Yeah.
different. I just remember what the old timers told me when I was
Yeah.
younger, and I kind of stick with what they tell me because
Supposedly there was a school or something over there on that spot. Supposedly.
Oh.
I can't remember. There was a school or something. She said that somebody used to pack their kids in a car and take it to, or either it was a school or a church or something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the old Levy store.
I guarantee you this had a coin pusher in it.
I bet you did.
All the country
Yeah.
stores did when I was younger.
Oh.
Yeah, Dad, can I have a quarter? No.
Oh, for sure.
But
Yeah.
right in front of us right here is that's the original little country store out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back then, like in the late 70s, coin pushers were still pretty new. The first one was invented in 74. It was called Penny Falls, and then the one I got on Facebook I'm selling,
Yeah.
it's a Silver Falls. It's the second model that had quarters in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, it's not legal.
It's I had fun doing it. I had fun building the structures.
Yeah.
You know, the sound of the quarters and everything's pretty relaxing to me.
I think it is.
Playing as exciting as anything.
Yeah.
My mom said Chuck to let you know that she bought her house from Wilma Tate, who was a teacher.
Yes. Well, not yes.
She taught out of Clintonville.
Yes, she
when I was
did.
younger.
Yeah, she did.
Mom said I miss all the little country stores and schools and each little.
I do too. I do too.
I
do
can't believe
too.
a dollar store ain't popped up out here.
Well, it surprises me. They're up everywhere else.
Right.
I mean, in North Middletown, you got the dollar, you got the Family
Yeah,
Dollar,
both of
and
them.
you got the the Dollar General both. So you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
kind of a little bit of everything.
What do you all do as magistrates? I mean,
Well, magistrates are basically, you have like your city commissioners in the city of Paris, and they handle like all the functions and responsibilities for like the city of Paris. And you know, Cynthia was on here talking about what all they do. We basically do the same thing for the county.
you're like the magistrates or the county
Magistrate or,
commissioners.
the county's commissioners, exactly what we do. We have our head, instead of having a mayor, we have what's called the judge they're the executive judge, and there actually are you know, Allison Cox is a Democratic nominee for that. She's going to be running up against the Republican nominee for
That's Tony, isn't it?
well, it's going to be Tony or Drew Root.
Oh, they got to run off
They
in
gotta
the primary.
They got to run off in the primary. So whoever
Okay.
wins that primary will be up against Allison in November. Yeah, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to run against the primary in May. Yeah, and of course our May primary is May 19th. So people, if you're in Flat Rock, which again, if you want to look at the maps, you can go to my website and find the maps out there. But you'd be surprised, you might be in Flat Rock District, and I need for you to get out and vote. Especially, you know, whether I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, but make sure and get out and vote for people, because we need for you to
Right
get out
on.
and represent your right. It's your right to vote. It's your right to, you know, a lot of people don't have that opportunity, so we need to get out there and do it. But anyhow, your magistrates are the same thing as like a city commissioner. And again, we have a head who is our executive judge. So that's what we do. That's what we handle.
Wilma say if they can hear him okay?
Yeah, they can hear it fine.
Yeah, turn right up here on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll go out this road. So
There's one of your
there's one of my
competitors.
competitors. We got Randy Tobby, who's running against me, and then we have Ronnie Johnson, who's also Ronnie lives out here on Levy Road. Randy, I think, is out in this area as well. Now, watch it. This is my favorite barn in
I
Bourbon
see it.
County. Do you see it? My
I just
favorite
now
one.
saw
The
it.
kids
I was
always
wondering if
love
that
it.
was your favorite
This is
barn.
my favorite barn.
Well, you can see it right over here is a
Yeah.
barn. The whole roof of it is a American flag.
Yeah.
There ain't
spot.
nobody behind us. I'll stop.
Yeah, it's a good spot right up here. Yeah, so you get a good shot of it.
But that's neat. That beats a
Yeah.
mail pouch barn.
I think so. I think so. But I always love the
A
barn.
lot of big old houses like this out in the county. Still,
It's a nice one.
Squire's running.
Squires is running on the Republican side. Now he's up against three other people that are running for Republican side. There's Squires. There's oh shoot, now I'm gonna go blank.
That we just saw.
Yeah, Squires is
Talby.
running. Well,
Ronnie.
Talby is actually, he's a Democrat. Ronnie Johnson's a Democrat, so they're my
Oh.
competition. So I've got to try to win against those two. There's Little Rock Fire Department, which is right there. I'm concerned about our county fire departments as well, you know, because it's getting harder and harder to try to keep those up and running and functioning and get them staffed with volunteers, because all of them are all volunteer.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of our little county fire departments have merged with the actual county fire department. Reynolds Mills, or excuse me, Shawhan has merged, and I think Centerville has actually merged, I believe.
Right. I went out and got Desiree Hutton a brick
Did you?
from Centerville
Did you,
School.
from the
and they was
school?
talking about when after it caught on fire.
Yeah.
There was a discussion on Facebook, and I think Mark Bell popped up and he says, I'd say your best bet is Butch knows how to get stuff done. Ha ha ha.
Well, I hated to see that school. What happened to it? Because it was a neat school. I always liked going in there. Of course, Andrea went to Center Hill.
Oh yeah.
Andrea, what were you all? Thoroughbreds?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Center Hill a little bit. I was a Rose Mills demon.
I was a pirate.
You were a pirate.
I was wondering how you come up with Clintonville Pirates in the middle of nowhere, but oddly enough, where I'm a Martin, you know where Martin's Landing is out there?
I've heard of it.
It's it's on the creek between Cynthiana Road and Peacock.
Yeah.
But if I read it right, our Martins come across and landed in South Carolina.
Okay.
Some of the Martins went over hill and dale and whatever to get up into Corbin, Kentucky, where Papa was from, and his mom and dad. And that part of the family comes from that way.
Okay. So
Now James Martin, or whatever Martin's Landing's named after,
Yeah.
If I'm right, he's my 8th great granddad.
Really?
There's something like that, 8th great relative.
Goes back there.
Yeah, he went up. He sailed. I don't know how he sent to Bourbon County, but it's where he ended up.
Who knows? We may be related because Martin's Ford was just right up the creek bend from where Concerton is and all that stuff. Yeah, and it's interesting to think because Martin's Ford and Ruddle's Ford was where 2 of the massacres happened. Back the Indian massacres.
Yeah.
Happened back in the day, and that's where they took the captives and they marched them all the way up to where was it, Detroit or something or other? Did you remember all that?
I've heard. I think when you said about marching them up to Detroit, I remember hearing that.
From the history, that's where they took a lot of people. So it's interesting.
They didn't teach us that. Most of the history I had is when Don Adams was a substitute teacher when
And he
I
would
was
talk
a
about
kid.
stuff.
And he would bring people out to the cemetery on our farm and showing people that was the descendants of the Concrates, and that's where Terry and Belinda grew up.
And I think it is. Is that where they lived, Andrew? Do you know? On the corner of
I
somewhere?
remember Bourbon and Terry's sister, Belinda. I remember it was a party one time, and that's
where that was. Okay.
Come out Curry Graves.
Yeah, but right, we're getting kind of close to where I think so. Yeah, I think we're getting close to where they live. I think it's up on this hill.
I'll tell you something I like more attention paid to is the archaeology in this county. Like, especially out towards Shawhan, from going out from, Peacock Road and the bypass on out that way. There supposedly was thousands of Indian mounds.
Oh, well, there's a burial mounds for sure. There's a Indian burial ground that was on the Keller farm, which was a farm of ours. There's been some artifacts and stuff found there, which I don't know if they were properly found there, if you know what I mean.
I know where some are, some were, and I've heard that whoever lived on the farm and grew up there, and after their parents were gone, they told them don't mess with it. After the parents were gone, they pilfered it.
That's basically what happened. This is where their farm was. This is where Cynthia's and Brad's place was. And I think, Andrew, did you tell me, does Kathy live here now?
I think so. Kathy Working.
I think this is where Kathy Working lives now.
Kathy who?
Kathy Working.
Yeah,
she's the one who has Creative Spark, and she has the Art on High. What's the other thing that she's doing? She's got that what's the kitchen thing? That's the Creative Spark thing in it, Andrea, that she's doing downtown Paris, there beside the Thoroughbred Hotel. And
Was she the one doing the charcuterie boards?
well, was she doing those, or was that the person who was in there before?
I think it was the person that was in there before.
Yeah, I was doing those.
I've got a commercial kitchen there.
Yeah, and what they're doing is that they're like renting the kitchen out. They're renting out the space that you can go in there. Like if you want to like make do catering stuff, you can go in there. You got like a commercial kitchen. Let's keep going straight.
Okay.
Let's keep going straight. Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever been across Roseberry Road.
Yeah, Roseberry comes back out. Goes right beside where Kenny's, or not Kenny,
Carrie?
Carrie's parents live.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. By
I think I've been across it maybe once.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that's where it come out.
Yeah. we'll go down this way and we'll come back out on Jackstown Road.
Right.
Go back in that way and up. That's an interesting area through here. Pretty area. But these are the roads in Bourbon County. When people wonder why are we out of school, a lot of times it's these little county roads that people can't travel and buses can't get up and down, that causes us to to be out of school. Which we need to worry about the safety of everybody. And people say, well, there's probably nobody that lives out here, but yep, there are people that live out here. We need to travel these roads and get the kids to school.
It's some of that a lot of people now are affected with. If it don't impact them, it ain't their problem.
It's not their problem, right?
Until there's no school, and then, well, guess what? It did impact you, and it is your problem also.
And you may be surprised, but there are times when there's ice or stuff in town, and there may not be anything out here, and people are going, well, why aren't we going to school? We don't know what's going on, just a few miles away in town. So we got to be thinking about everybody, too.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy getting out and doing the snow go report in the winter.
I can imagine. But can you imagine this sucker and, a little skip of snow or anything like that?
Right. Now, when we was growing up, there was a lot of little old women that drove them school buses.
Oh, honey. But you know what? They could get, I tell you what, we went to school.
They was fearless.
We went to school. I tell you what, Edna Wells, she could drive that sucker through anything, let me tell you.
I had Miss Faulkner, I had Kim and Joey Faulkner's mama.
They could drive that bus through anything.
Yeah, I think I've went to Miss Faulkner with, I think, 3 cows that got hit and numerous mirrors got smacked with farm trucks going down the road, and she never stopped.
Never stopped.
I asked everybody if they was okay, glass open windows and stuff.
Just keep on going.
Yeah, everybody okay?
Yeah.
Just wipe it off.
I remember every once in a while, we'd be driving through Fieldcrest subdivision, and dogs would get out, and unfortunately, sadly, it happened. A dog would get underneath the bus tire, and you'd stop and say, okay, we're sorry. Here, everybody keep on going. Got to get the kids home. Got to get them home. But
that's a nice setup. I love the little farms that have all the barns have the same color roof.
Yes,
same colors, the house,
everything,
and the architecture. All the old houses out in the county are really unique and neat.
They are
very diverse.
They are.
I get to see a lot more of stuff than most people that do what they do for a living, because I go to people's houses and work.
Oh, sure.
Dad had an HVAC business growing up, so like I was in people's house like the cable guy,
Well, and plus, if you grew up in the country, we didn't have HVAC. We didn't know what air conditioner was back in the
80s is when a lot of people started getting it.
Now we're out on Jackstown Road, so if you want to, we're not going to go down to Jackstown, which is that way. But
this is where it splits. This is where the Hamilton's place is down through there.
It's right through here. This is the Hamilton's farm this way, and then Jackstown is down that way. And that, of course, is Nicholas County as you get on down there. This is Jackstown Road, so we're heading back toward this way. Now, my district is on this side. This side is Millersburg, so it's kind of strange how it just kind of breaks apart.
It's got to split somewhere.
It's got to split somewhere. This is how it breaks.
Doesn't that sound like a new version of Seinfeld?
It does.
That's a Seinfeld 2026.
It does.
It was one of those stock sounds that come on the phone. I haven't changed it.
No, I think this is an interesting area. And as you talked about, one of the
they got a front and back entrance to that farm, don't they?
It looks like it. Looks like it on both sides of the road.
I never slow down. Have slowed down in touring and looking at stuff. I'm usually working.
All of it,
go to where I'm going. I'm looking for a mailbox number.
Gotta keep going.
I tell you what, you don't see trash on the roads like you did back in the 70s.
No,
it was terrible.
I think people are
that's why they
maybe being a little more cautious about stuff. Yeah,
right.
I think they're being a little more cautious about stuff. But there are areas. It used to, when growing up on Peacock Road, there used to be an area where if you could see it. It's like when people got so far out of town, they got finished with the drink or something like that. It was like this was the spot where they threw it. Or there was like some sign or something rather. It's like, okay, I'm going to try to hit the sign with my can or whatever like that. and you know, they just would throw it out and just made it junky. And I tell you, the other thing which was bad on Peacock Road too is people would just like, it seems like they would decide to clean out a house or something or other, and they'd have their mattresses and their couch and everything else. It might have been a rental property or something. They would just come out the county and just
Put it in the ditch.
dump it in a ditch,
True
and
story.
not you know, make it somebody else's problem. Why make it somebody else's problem to clean
I
up?
don't know. The whole attitude was
Well,
different.
it was, but
The
you know,
Indian crying on the commercial was real.
well, it was real. It was
Yeah.
real, and but it did. It made it somebody else's problem. And what would either happen is that the person who owned the property, it looked horrible.
Right.
But I don't know. Many times we'd have to get out there and, you know.
Our farm, we had a 1,000-foot driveway, and the last part of the driveway at the road went over a hill where we couldn't see it, and it just seemed to be a popular spot for everybody to stop. You know, if they had to take a leak or they want to sit there. Now we pulled in from going out to eat when I was younger and on up, but you know, you go to pull in the driveway and somebody's parked there and you got turn signal on and everybody's like scurrying around. They would stand there talking, drinking a beer or whatever, smoking. And but they had get in their car and go.
There's Cleavers.
Yep.
The Cleavers.
Yep.
And his son lives in the house now. Cleaver lives in the modular.
Oh yeah.
He switched properties with them.
Yeah, that way. College Road. Ain't
Yeah.
it?
Well, that's
Well, I mean, that's a different name. But,
what do they call it? Stringtown.
but doesn't that turn into college?
Well, college is,
Or is college? I'm at the wrong place.
yeah, at the wrong place. You're at the wrong place. This one, the other side is like a dead end. It deads end down there where John Smith's farm is. His farm down that way.
I don't think I've seen Randy Smoot since I got high school, and his sister. The only time I seen Sarah was she worked at McAlpin's.
Yeah. Well, now Randy is a big dentist, isn't he?
I don't know.
Isn't he a dentist? He's down in, is it Bardstown? Is it Bardstown or is he down in Campbellsville? I can't
Western
remember.
Kentucky.
Somewhere. But Lorraine, of course, will post some stuff for him every once in a while, and he's
I
got a
mean,
couple
thinking about
kids.
how he was in school, I bet he's a good dentist. I mean, as far as his manner.
Oh, I'm sure. All of those kids, they of course had 3 kids. Everybody's grown up, you know. Of course, I say kids, my God, they're our age. We're, you know,
Yeah.
they got kids that are the age that we should be.
See, that's part of my problem is
Yeah.
up here didn't grow up. So I talk about people in their 40s like they're old until
Well,
I start hurting, and then
Well,
it's
I
like,
know.
here, I'm gonna let this guy by.
Okay.
Let him be in a hurry.
But I'm trying to think. I mean, you were talking about a good thing. That to do that with the park would be a good thing. I think because there's plenty of room out there to do it. I mean, there's what, almost 300 acres or more.
Yeah. It reminds me so much of Heisel Park, and why Heisel Park was created was for cross country teams to be able to go someplace and practice, and to help maintain it. Then that's when they started allowing the horses to come out there, and the people that ride the horses take better care of it. Then it keeps traffic. So.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, the whole reason that I think that they got the concept or the idea to buy the park is because cross country was out there. I think they were utilizing it because there was a connection or something for the cross country had with access to the land. But you know, it's nice. I mean, we went out there. Andrew and I went out there. When was it, Andrew? One night, a couple of weeks ago, just to see what.
Is this okay if I correct you?
Yeah, go for it.
Andrew, you okay?
But just to see the fields and stuff, it's really nice. Is it?
Yeah, at one time, I don't know if they still own it. They own Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah. I don't know if they still own it or not.
When the sun comes, when one of the sons, I don't know how many sons they have. I just remember in the late '80s, he had come back from traveling the world and doing stuff, and we did the heating and air on the cabin.
Did you?
Back there. Yeah, it had a 2-house on the back of the house.
Oh.
It was cutting edge, and it was for growing weed.
Oh.
I didn't see at the time.
Yeah.
Of course, he come around and says, "Anybody want a Christmas cigar?" I'm like, "I want one." He said, "You want one, Don?" And Dad's like, "No." I said, "I'll take Dad's." Dad's like, "You don't even smoke cigars." I said, "This ain't cigar. This ain't tobacco. Go away."
It's a Christmas cigar.
I mean, some of the guy trying to hand Buddy Fletcher a weed cigar. I was like watching somebody hand a nun a. Well, never mind. I told you I'd try the best I could.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right.
Do you want to cut up? This is the split of Flat Rock, so we'll just keep going straight, right?
Keep going straight.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll cut back in on Glen Road.
We'll come out into drive. Oh yeah,
we're
Glen
gonna
Road.
Glen Road, cut back over, and then we'll
Yeah.
go back in the other, right on back into the
I don't
town.
remember what
This area through here.
John
No, they
Road.
need to. Amy, you're right. They need to. That's a good thing.
I mean, it's horse country.
It needs to have something to make the whole. You're right.
It's a giant what this horse park is.
Yeah.
Friends, every time, like at least once a year, they're having CEO keep them. And it comes up as a job with my friends, and it'll end up in my Facebook inbox. They're like, "Oh, you need to go get you a job," because I will go and I just
Yeah.
I put up for where are they?
Yeah.
Where's all the flags? Used to be recognized everywhere.
Like 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
The displays were empty.
Yeah.
I actually read reports. So I went out there one day and I took pictures of all the little kiosks about the park since before COVID. I was remembering all these things in my email. I said, "Did you know
Underground
what?"
house.
They say, what'd you say, Chuck?
That's Fritz's underground house is up here somewhere.
Yeah,
It was right
it's
back
right-
there.
Back there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was right back there.
Oh, we got past it. Yeah, the underground house.
Yeah, they're underground house.
But,
Everybody talked about that one. Our house, everybody talked about because where it's set, it was built into a hillside, and the whole end of the house was glass, so you could see it. Forward trees have grown up now, huge. That was down that little valley in between us and the other property. You can't see it, but everybody talked about the house. It looked like a ski, a ski chalet, kind of lodge. Yeah, couldn't think of lodge. I don't know why chalet popped in my
You know,
head.
that's kind of bad that that's happened. I'm surprised that that's happened, Amy.
Orlando, Florida. They've blown us out of the water.
Yeah, they have. They have. Ocala has.
Now we went by their horse place when we was down there, and
World
it's
Equestrian Center.
Yeah.
huge now. It was just starting when I was down there in the 2000s.
Do you think that a lot of the programs that Kentucky has kind of like stopped?
It's two things. The first thing is that the world of riding horses, we do this ebb and flow. For about
Yeah.
10 years, everybody can afford to do it. We want
Right.
everybody to be involved in it.
Right.
And then the snooty rich people, they can only handle so many years of that crap, and then they start teaching people how to raising rates on everything. Shows are too expensive, nobody
Yeah.
can afford to show, all
Yeah.
this. So that's some of it. But then the other part is when we had the
Venus Springs.
World Equestrian Games and they built all that stuff out there with the all tech arena and everything,
Oh yeah, Adina.
Yeah.
we knew we were never going to be able to maintain that amount of showing
It's just
to
sitting
pay
there.
for it. So I
They've got a
think
whole
the money
neighborhood
from
out
the
there, I
investment
think.
to curate for the
You know,
International
of nice
Museum and
houses
everything
that
went to
where nobody was in them when we had
And
a
then
freeze there a few
bunches
years ago. It
years
busted the
ago, we had